Home invasions in movies are either heart-stoppingly intense or so absurd they belong in a comedy sketch. Hollywood has given us fearless vigilantes, clueless homeowners, and criminals with hacking skills straight out of a sci-fi thriller. But when it comes to real-life break-ins, things rarely play out like they do on screen. In this video, we'll talk about the most common home invasion stereotypes, exposing the myths and giving you practical security tips to keep your home safe. Ever seen a movie where the homeowner hears a noise and immediately goes to investigate, completely unarmed in total darkness, calling out, "Who's there?" That's a fast track to disaster. Or what about the overconfident gun owner who thinks he's John Wick, charging straight into danger without a second thought? In reality, home invasions are unpredictable, and the best defense is not reckless bravery or blind panic. It's preparation and smart decision-making. And let's not forget the classic masked intruder who somehow bypasses an advanced security system in under 10 seconds. The truth? Most burglars enter through unlocked doors and windows, no hacking required. The biggest mistakes homeowners make? Underestimating risks, ignoring basic security measures, and believing it won't happen to me. By the end of this video, you'll know what's real, what's nonsense, and how to avoid becoming the victim of a preventable crime. Let's get into it. Some people imagine that every burglar picks locks or drills through safes, but many intruders don't bother with elaborate methods at all. They'll stroll up to a house and test the door, hoping someone forgot to lock it. This approach relies on carelessness, like leaving a side door unlocked or a window cracked open. In one reported case, teenagers managed to burglarize a home simply by squeezing through a doggy door. They never broke a window, never forced a lock, and vanished without anyone noticing until the following day. Criminals who operate like this don't want a challenge, they want an effortless score. Studies have shown that a large percentage of burglaries involve someone entering through an unlocked door or window. It's easy to assume that it won't happen during the day or while you're home, but opportunistic thieves know people get complacent. Many folks think they only need to secure everything at night. That misconception can be a gift to the intruder who just jiggles a few doorknobs. The most effective move is to make sure you're not handing them an open invitation. Lock your doors, lock your windows, and consider small things like motion sensor lights or a camera at the entrance. These measures don't have to be expensive or flashy. They just have to remind the average lurker that you're paying attention. Criminals usually avoid places that appear well secured and occupied. If you're consistent about basic precautions, opportunists will likely move on to an easier target. We've all seen that horror movie moment. Someone hears a strange noise in the hall, grabs the nearest lamp, and whispers, "Who's there?" The film world loves showing terrified homeowners creeping around in the dark. Real-life burglars, however, generally prefer to steer clear of confrontations altogether. They often strike during the late morning or early afternoon, banking on nobody being around. Statistics suggest more than half of home invasions happen in broad daylight. Most intruders aren't out for a brawl. They want quick grab-and-go theft. In fact, many burglaries involve unarmed offenders who hope to sneak in and out without meeting anyone face-to-face. Unfortunately, Hollywood's depiction of a nighttime showdown can lull people into a false sense of security, making them think they're safe if they're awake or if the lights are on. Rather than trusting any simplistic notion that they only come at night, it's better to shore up your place against daytime intrusions. Deadbolts on all exterior doors, solid locks on windows, and adequate lighting can make a difference. It also helps to create the impression that someone's always around, maybe leaving a radio or TV on when you're stepping out briefly. Making your home look occupied can work wonders. Of course, being helpless is one extreme. The other extreme is too much bravado, fueled by action movie fantasies of single-handedly disarming an entire crew of intruders. Overconfidence can lead to dangerous decisions that cause more harm than good. It's natural to want to protect your home, especially if you value your Second Amendment rights. The trouble begins when folks assume that grabbing a gun and marching into danger is always the smartest approach. There's a powerful temptation to confront intruders head-on, as if you're in an action film, but real-life situations rarely unfold like Hollywood scenes. A homeowner in Valley Village, Los Angeles, faced multiple criminals and decided to physically fight them off. He ended up pepper sprayed and was lucky he still managed to defend himself. Another incident in Vancouver, Washington, involved a homeowner who fired at an intruder in the bedroom. These stories can underscore the idea that armed defense saved the day, but they also highlight the serious physical, legal, and emotional fallout. When danger arises, the best tactic is often to secure loved ones and call the authorities. If you're trained in carrying, it's still wise to avoid roaming through your house searching for a fight. Experts frequently advise that your top priority should be to hunker down if possible, maintain a defensive position, and only engage if you have no other choice. Taking on multiple intruders or confronting someone who might be armed can escalate things fast, even if you're comfortable with firearms. It's good to be prepared, but also important to remember that part of being responsible with self-defense is knowing your limitations. Not every intruder is a high-tech mastermind, though Hollywood would have you believe otherwise. Movies and TV shows love portraying burglars as tech-savvy pros who can crack the latest security systems with a few keystrokes. While those plots are exciting to watch, actual home invasions usually hinge on much simpler methods. Many break-ins still happen through unlocked doors, flimsy windows, or garages left open. Now and then, you'll hear about sophisticated rings that jam signals or use drones to scout high-end properties. These headlines do crop up, especially when wealthy athletes or celebrities are targeted. Still, that sort of high-tech caper is relatively rare in the grand scheme. The majority of burglars are not master hackers. They go for weak points and seize opportunities. This is why basic safety measures are so crucial. If your doors are locked, windows are secured, and areas around your home are well lit, most run-of-the-mill thieves will keep on moving. Surveillance cameras, particularly ones that are visible from the street, can also discourage them. Folks sometimes pour thousands into complex alarm systems, yet forget to reinforce old door frames or cheap locks. High-tech solutions are great, but they're not as effective if you haven't covered the fundamentals. Even with security tools in place, daily habits around the house can send signals to potential intruders. A fancy alarm doesn't help if the family leaves the back door cracked open or never updates the default code on a garage keypad. And when the household itself is caught off guard or disorganized, that's another invitation altogether. A classic sitcom scene might show everyone going about their day, completely unaware of a burglar snooping around. Reality is a bit different. Most burglaries happen when nobody's home because thieves want to avoid direct confrontations. Recent studies indicate many break-ins occur between mid-morning and early afternoon, precisely when people are at work or school. That said, there are times when a burglar walks in to discover someone still there, and in many cases, the intruder bolts rather than stick around. They're usually aiming for a quick score without added risk. Still, every household should be prepared for the possibility of a break-in, whether they're present or not. One of the simplest ways to get everyone on the same page is creating a family plan for emergencies, then practicing it. If kids know how to lock doors and windows, recognize weird noises, and immediately alert an adult, that alone can foil a crook. It helps to discuss what to do if someone hears glass breaking or spots suspicious behavior. This doesn't have to be done in a way that terrifies the little ones, but it's smart to let them know why awareness matters. Securing entry points consistently is the next priority. People sometimes leave a window open for fresh air or forget to lock the garage. You don't have to live in paranoia, but treating routine security as second nature can mean the difference between an unremarkable day and a break-in. Even so, outside threats aren't always from total strangers. Sometimes the danger comes from folks who know exactly where to look. It's easy to picture the hooded figure creeping down a dark alley, but statistics from the Bureau of Justice show a substantial chunk of burglaries involve someone the victim already knows. This might be a friend of a friend, a former roommate, or a service worker who spotted valuables on a previous visit. Familiarity can give them a roadmap of your home's layout, schedules, and weak points. A trusted handyman might notice there's no deadbolt on your side door or that you leave expensive tools out in the open. Maybe a neighbor's acquaintance sees the code you punch into the garage keypad. Criminals with inside knowledge don't need advanced gadgetry. They already know enough to bypass your defenses. Sometimes they never intended to commit a crime until they realized how easy it would be. Homeowners can reduce this threat by using reputable service providers and taking steps like changing locks after major projects or tenant changes. If a guest notices a fancy watch lying in plain sight, that alone might spark temptation down the road. Storing valuables out of view or in a safe, plus limiting access to certain areas, goes a long way toward keeping honest people honest. Cameras and alarm systems still serve as strong deterrents. They remind anyone considering mischief that there'll be evidence. The key is balancing trust with caution. Being friendly with neighbors and tradespeople is great, but oversharing details about your security setup can backfire. Some people think their cozy community shields them from crime altogether, which leads right into another widespread misconception. Folks who live in gated communities or nice neighborhoods often assume burglars won't target them. This mindset can lead to unlocked doors or reliance on a guard at the entrance. Truth is, criminals aren't checking zip codes to see who deserves a break-in. They scout places where they expect minimal resistance and greater payoff. The FBI reported hundreds of thousands of burglaries in recent years, and a big chunk happened in places people consider safe. Gated entrances may limit random passers-by, but they don't guarantee protection from determined thieves, or from someone who follows a resident's car through the gate. Overconfidence might even make these areas more appealing if folks aren't paying attention to basic security. Extra community measures are helpful, but they don't replace personal responsibility. Make sure the garage keypad doesn't use an easy code, keep an eye on shared amenities, and watch for anyone who clearly doesn't belong. People often expect the homeowners association to handle security, but a fence and a gate won't stop someone who truly wants in. Nobody's suggesting you should barricade the house like a fortress or suspect every stranger. Just remember that location alone isn't enough to guarantee safety. Some people, though, take that message so much to heart that they go way overboard, building their own version of a medieval castle complete with traps and secret defenses. Everyone wants to feel safe, but some homeowners push security measures to extremes. They install rows of cameras, alarm systems on every window, and even booby traps they've rigged up themselves. In one reported story out of Blyth, Northumberland, frustrated owners resorted to a DIY contraption that dropped a bucket onto an intruder. It may have worked, but it could have harmed someone accidentally. Setting booby traps isn't just risky, it can land you in serious legal trouble. Laws in the United States generally put a higher value on preventing injury than on protecting possessions. Courts don't look kindly on premeditated hazards that could injure a would-be thief or a family member, neighbor, or first responder who stumbles into it. It's far safer and more sensible to trust tried-and-true defenses. Sturdy locks, reinforced doors, properly placed cameras, a home alarm system, and maybe a guard dog. A well-lit property with clear sightlines already deters most intruders without endangering anyone. Part of being prepared means staying on the right side of the law and ensuring you don't create a hazard for innocent people. There's a sweet spot between leaving your doors wide open and turning the place into an armed bunker. Good security keeps criminals guessing while keeping your family, friends, and even your mail carrier safe. If you find that balance, you'll be in good shape against the range of home invasion tactics, from the casual door tester to the rare high-tech burglar. After all, the goal is to protect your household, not to invite more trouble than you started with. And that's it for this video. Home invasions aren't the Hollywood-style thrillers or comedy acts they're often made out to be. Real-life criminals don't rely on elite hacking skills or dramatic standoffs. They take advantage of carelessness, predictable routines, and overconfidence. Have you or someone you know ever dealt with a home invasion or a close call? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more of these videos. Thanks for watching.